Hello and welcome to our next tutorial. In this stitch along, we are going to be working on this kind of branch piece. It has, as you can see, back stitch, and then these little flowers are just, again, straight stitches like we used over here. And you will get to do a little freehand, so that will be exciting to practice that. And with this one, this is the next color on your sheet, and we will do 3 strands on the branch and then 6 strands. I just liked the flowers looked a little full with all 6 strands. It's a little harder to thread your needle, but I think it'll be great. So I have my practice hoop. Now, I don't think I said this in the first one, but you actually should be taking your hoop off your actual piece regularly, and so just use the same hoop to interchange and use your practice. It is good for that. A back stitch is a pretty common stitch that you will see in embroidery, but also just in sewing. And so what you do is you come up again, I have it knotted, you come up through the back, and then this one, we are going to actually follow the way of the branch. And so we're gonna go all the way to the next branch piece that goes off, and we're gonna go 1 stitch forward, pull all the way through, and then again the next breaking piece, we are gonna go up through the back and come back, and you can go through the same hole or really close to it on that one. Now this next stitch, we will go to the next kind of branch piece. Doing it this way kind of gives it a clean line. We go back down through the original hole and the next one. Pull it through, last one on this stem, up and then back down. And then one little trick that I like to do is if you're going back down to a random branch, let's say you have to go all the way down to this bottom one, I will actually thread behind my I would just kind of tuck it in through one of the stitches in the back. It just keeps the lines clean. And then again, here we go. We're gonna come back up through the next partition, I guess, and go down. And the straight one. So you're just gonna fill in all these branches with this particular piece. But a back stitch is a really good stitch to know. If you've never used it before, I would practice it. A lot of people use this even for their whole embroidery piece. I personally find that a little boring, but a lot of people use it to outline like a shape. Some people use it even like a coloring book to color like the outline of a picture that they like, and just use back stitch all the way around. Again, here, let me just do a few more stitches over in this corner. You go forward and you move however big you want your stitches to be. Now, if you are lettering with this, you want your stitches to be super tiny. Since we're just kind of doing like a nice branch, that's why I have pretty large stitches. It is nice to kind of keep stitches around the same length, but again, if you're like trying to make a letter, making it tiny is really good, because otherwise it just looks a little harsh. Try to get even tinier. Oops, I'm sorry, the camera. Okay, so I am going to show you on this piece where we're going with this one. Again, you're going up. It's hard sometimes to keep this in focus, so I apologize. But we're going to just do a little bit. I would go all the way up this branch and then kind of make my way down some of the other branches, but since we need to learn the flowering part, I am just going to do this. And then one here. You know, sometimes it's not going to be perfect on the lines, and that's totally fine. Like, you are free to kind of like make it, if the lines don't look perfect, again, these lines will disappear in heat. They will look okay. So we're gonna do this little branch. And this one. So this is where I would kind of thread back here, because I want to go and do some of those other branches and just kind of, instead of having lines going all over the place, and sometimes those can show up on your show up if you have a really dark thread in white fabric, it might show up. This was a really long branch, so I'm just cutting it into two and doing 2 stitches on it, but I was going to show you what we are doing with the flowers. So I have my light pink with 6 strands, and what we are going to do is, so basically what I have done is I went on all the edges and did 3 little stitches, kind of similar to what we did over here, but a little bit different. So I kind of, you know, and I kind of wanted to angle it at times. So right here, we're gonna do 3, kind of looks like a little flowering branch. So I'm gonna do, again, I just do the center one first, and then I kind of, you know, flowers are not all the same, so they might have a little varying. They don't have to be like perfectly aligned in the center. Off to the side a little bit. But I liked the way the 3 looked for the edge branches. Sorry, I'm getting stuck on that green color back here. Let's see if we can pull that out a little bit better. Okay, another little flower up here. So just kind of go around where at all of the branch endings and do a flower more or less. But then I will show you on my finished piece. You know, sometimes I had it angling up, sometimes it angled a little more down. It's just kind of the way you choose to do it, but yeah, just little ones like this. And then what I went back through and did, so I did all the edges, but then I did these little ones right here, kind of little buds or whatever you would want, kind of in the middle, wherever you wanted to put them. I thought they look cute with a little bit more full look. And so I just kind of, okay, well, I want it right here. I'm gonna just make, and I was only doing 2, 1 or 2 even. Just kind of tuck it in behind that branch again. And, oops, sorry. Come back through. Tuck it in again. I just kind of, wherever I felt like it, on the main branch, on the side branches, just kind of add in a little bit extra. So hopefully, yeah, you will enjoy making this one and do a little freehand.